All right, welcome on in everyone to another episode of First CSP, the channel dedicated to bringing you the first council shoulder patch issued from each council in Scouting America, both past and present. Today we're going to take a look at Great Salt Plains 474 out of Oklahoma. Council was originally formed in 1927 as a name change from Garfield County 474. Lasted up until the year 2000 when it merged with Will Rogers 473 to form Cimarron 474. Now, this is a great example today of one where the older collecting guides have had multiple variations, and the newer collecting guides have collapsed that into just a singular first issue. We're going to actually take a look today at the T1A, B, and C, as well as the S2A and B, but those in the most recent guide available to collectors now just list them as T1 and S2. So I'll be interested to hear from longtime collectors what they think about those changes. So let's head on over to the patch table, take a look here at the T1A. T1A defined by its dark blue border, white background, red letters, dark brown eagle, which is one of the defining characteristics here. If we can get a little better focus. Dark brown eagle at the center, and the wheat is colored gold. So for the three variations T1A, B, and C, we are going to find that it is only the T1A that has the dark brown eagle. You can see the back is cloth. We've got a cloth backed T1A. And then when we look at the T1B and C, we're going to find that the eagle is then just brown. That's the difference of whether or not we're considering it to be gold, dark gold wheat or gold wheat. We are going to notice a slight difference in the color blues used, especially, for example, in the flag. But that is the first issue T1A. Now let's take a look at the T1B. T1B is defined by a dark blue border, white background, still red letters. Now we've gone to a brown eagle, and this is listed as dark gold wheat. If we take a look at the back real quick, it is also a cloth back. But when we put this up, heads up against the T1A, we can see there is a darker blue on the flag, and obviously the eagle itself is considerably darker. Let's try and get all the title in on that. It does appear as though the reds used in the text are going to be relatively the same. And we can't see a difference. This is lighter, so this would be listed as the gold wheat. This is now listed as dark gold wheat. My question to the longtime collectors is, what do you think about how they've started to move in the guides to just collapsing these two as a single issue with just a range of, say, colors for the eagle and wheat, etc.? Do you think that that's helpful? Do you think that that encourages more people to come into the hobby because they're not worried about trying to decipher between these T1A, B, and C's? Do you think it does a disservice to the history of the council and the issues that were created? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. Obviously, yesterday we looked at Suffolk County where there was A through G, which is just essentially giving a new variation to every production run that was done. Is that appropriate? Is it not appropriate? Obviously, I'm sure there's a multitude of opinions out there. Would love to hear what you guys think, because I know a lot of the returning viewers are longtime collectors. All right, let's keep it moving and take a look at C, which was the last variation here. This is now listed as the same dark blue border, white background, red letters. We again have the lighter brown eagle, but now we've gone to gold wheat, so it's no longer the dark gold. It's pretty close when looking at these two and determining one over the other. I actually think the difference between these two is less in the color of the wheat and more in the color of the text. We're going to see that this looks to me much darker red, and this is a much lighter red. Can take a look at the back here on the T1C as well. Again, also a cloth back. Now I could see collapsing these into a single variation. So if you said you had the T1A that was dark brown, and then the B and C just became a T1B with very slight variations. Again, the flag colors here are that lighter blue when compared with the original darker blue on the T1A. Again, we can see that's a darker eagle still. And then we have the same thing that basically occurred with the S2s. So the S2 is now just considered S2, but there were originally two distinct variations, the S2A and S2B. We do have both of those here for you today. This being the S2A with the dark blue border, white background, gold fleur-de-lis. These are all type 1 fleur-de-lis. Red letters and a brown eagle. So taking that same imagery from the T1s, we've now added fleur-de-lis, and it's a completely sewn patch. So this is the S2A. It is coated on the back. It's a pretty stiff patch, actually. And we can contrast that one with the S2B. This is now listed as a dark blue border, white background, yellow fleur-de-lis. Again, saying this is gold and this is yellow, they look really close to me. But they do list that the change of the eagle color has now gone to what they're calling rust. I'm not sure I would call that rust, but I can definitely distinctly tell that it's different from the S2A. You can see quite a difference in the font as well, where Great Salt Plains, it's much thinner font here on the S2B. And this one has kind of a more modern plastic back than the S2A. The S2A does have a coated back, but I wouldn't necessarily call it like what we would think of as a plastic back. So this is another one. They now consider these the same issue. They'd call either one an S2. Get a slightly darker blue on the border here. This looks a little lighter. When comparing those two, do you guys as collectors agree with that? Do you think that that's the right move? Just thinking that these are different productions of essentially the same patch. There is no change to the design per se. Would love to get your thoughts on yesterday's video and today's video with how the trend is to kind of collapse these sub-variations down to just single issues, and whether or not you think that's the right move going forward. You like it, you don't like it, whatever. We'll finish kind of putting back up that first issue. And the last one here, the T1A and S2B there on the screen. Hopefully you have found this video to be informative and educational and entertaining as well. We will be back with another new video tomorrow. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear your opinions. But until tomorrow's new episode, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in every day, and we'll catch you on the next episode.